Many of the best companies in the world got their start in a program that helps founders build their companies. These programs are called accelerators. Our accelerator, FounderFuel, is now accepting applications.
Get the founder on stage, they're waiting outside, they're waiting outside, they're waiting outside. Get the founder on stage, they're waiting outside, they're waiting outside, they're waiting outside. Guess who's back? Back again. FounderFuel's back. Tell your friends.
Guess who's back? 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 Guess who's back?
We've created a platform for founders to thrive. Dig deep down inside and enjoy the ride. Humble beginnings to IPO. Ramen for breakfast and filet mignon. Street cred since 2012. 100 plus companies under our belt. FounderFuel's back has never felt so damn amazing, I might melt. Pre-seed C to Series A. History is made on demo day stage. Your application will be too late if you want to submit before Sam shaves. Son of a jury, transit app, paper bench side, don't forget Unsplash. So many bangers, I'm getting whiplash. Listen up, everybody. FounderFuel's back. Over 500 million raised with enterprise value in the billions today. Alum network from MTL to the Bay that supports each other to this day. So if you wanna work with me, Kitty, John, JS, and Mr. Nazeev, help you and your company succeed, then apply today. It's such a breeze.
Na 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 na.
Paging all friends, founders, and funders. This is the last call for the FounderFuel 2023 Demo Day. Please take your seats now. Ceci est le dernier appel pour la journée de présentation 2023 de FounderFuel. Veuillez prendre vos sièges à l'instant. Pour le confort et la sécurité de tous, nous vous prions de mettre vos cellulaires sur mode silence et de ne prendre aucune photographie avec flash. For the comfort and security of all, we ask that you put your phones on silent mode and do not take any flash photography. Now sit back, relax, et bon spectacle.
The state of venture capital for early-stage companies in Canada is in danger. But Real Ventures, Panache, and Inovia have joined forces to bring FounderFuel back.
Katy, we absolutely need to come up with a master plan to save early-stage startups from extinction.
Agreed. That is why I put out the FounderFuel signal. To reignite the venture spirit, I've been recruiting across the country and training the very, very best over the past few months. I've assembled the 7 FounderFuel superheroes.
7 heroes? But who are they?
Allow me to introduce the 7 wonders.
So, are they like the Avengers?
No, same, but different. You know, with trademarks and everything, let's just call them the 7 wonders.
So, are they like the 7 wonders of the world?
Oh, yeah, I can see how that's actually confusing. So let's go with the Fantastic 7. We've got Artemis for all of our biggest data challenges. We've got LeaseSimple to save renters from nasty inflation. And then we have Quack for our most urgent sales dialing needs.
Oh, gosh, I love Quack.
Then we've got Aim Colors for our digital self-expression. Roll to help us gameplay to more meaningful relationships. Prospecer to modernize processes for interior designers. And lastly, we've got Snapwrite to save all of our pre-loved goods from landfills. Ladies, let's save the world. Welcome everyone. It's amazing to see so many amazing, familiar and new faces. Donc, bienvenue tout le monde à FounderFuel 2023. Ça fait un bon bout qu'on arrive ici. We are back live in person. It's the first FounderFuel since 2019. So really, really excited to be here with you. The last time we had this, thing called COVID that kind of took things off the rails for a little, and it was 3 years ago that that event happened. It's amazing to be back here in person. So I would say that for us, it's really just been a pleasure and an honor. My name is Katy. I'm the general manager of FounderFuel, and I'm a partner at Real Ventures, and I'm thrilled to be your co-host today with Scott.
Bonjour tout le monde. Mon nom est Scott Loong. Merci, Katy. Mon nom est Scott Loong, associé général chez Panache Ventures. Nous sommes un fonds de capital de risque pré-amorçage puis amorçage basé ici à Montréal, mais avec des bureaux à Vancouver, Calgary puis Toronto. And on behalf of the entire FounderFuel team and Real Ventures team and Panache team, I'm so happy that you guys are all here today in such amazing force.
So what a journey it's been to get here. And it's taken a lot to finally get all these startups here for you. And years ago, I was told that this startup ecosystem is exceptionally tight-knit and very, very supportive. And boy, is that true this year more than most. It has been really inspiring to see 3 VC firms come together to bring FounderFuel back in such a big, big way. Our collective goal is to inspire startups to build companies, to attack hard problems, and to defy the odds and succeed with the resilience and courage needed despite all this uncertainty. What's funny is when I told my friends in the US that we were 3 VC firms collaborating instead of competing to bring FounderFuel back, they were like, that's really Canadian of you. But I think it's really just a demonstration of the incredible community that we have. As general manager, it has been an honor and a privilege to work with these amazing founders, but I would not be able to be here, and Scott either, on this stage if it wasn't for the commitment of these 3 firms. So I really have a heartfelt thanks to Mike Cegelski and Scott over at Panache because they actually initiated this comeback. And then I'd like to have a big thanks to Chris, Prem, and Magali, who are here as well from Inovia, for joining us in this adventure. And lastly, of course, my team at Real, and we'll hear about them a little bit later, but I'm super grateful because if it wasn't for them, we certainly wouldn't be here. So I'd like to hand it over to Scott to talk about why FounderFuel and early stage is really more important now than ever before.
Well, as all of you know, it has been a pretty character-building couple of years in the venture community. It's been easy for the finance community to label this as a return to normal or a flight to quality, but really that varnishes over the real reality of what is happening on the ground. And that is that founders are losing their companies, people are losing their jobs, budgets are being slashed, it's become very difficult to raise capital, and if you care at all about the venture community, which I think everyone in this room does, I'm sure that you've had a few moments over the past 2 years to reflect a little bit on what's going on. But historically, there is some hope. Tough economic conditions have typically precipitated moments where we can rethink things in our lives, how we allocate our resources, what our consumption patterns are, and our vision for the future. It's a time to build businesses. It's a time to use technology to change how we connect as individuals, how we work together, how we express ourselves as individuals, and even how we improve our social mobility. 50% of the current Fortune 500 was founded during a year where there was either tremendous economic hardship or tremendous geopolitical risk. And many of the technology titans that we recognize today as household names were founded in 2008 and 2009. It's been a boom time for several years, and during that time, we've built up infrastructure. We've built up connections and communities. We've built up know-how, and all of that will remain extremely, extremely useful and helpful today. And coupled with the fact that we see a discipline in the startup community and a focus in 2023 that was not there in 2021 and 2022. I see it every day, and I'm sure many of you do as well. And so for the most resilient founders, many of whom are in the room today, there really hasn't been a better time in history to be a builder.
I couldn't agree with you more, Scott. And as all of you know, or some of you, FounderFuel is one of the few venture-backed startup accelerators in Canada. That means we invest directly capital into every single company that you'll see on stage today. This is how we align our interests with theirs and also help them with their growth trajectories. In addition to investment capital, we know that surrounding founders with excellence is an imperative part of catalyzing growth. So building communities is really at the heart of everything we do. And I turn off this. Turn off the alerts here. People congratulating me while I'm on stage. So as many of you know, FounderFuel is one of the venture-backed studios accelerators in Canada, meaning that we invest the capital directly into the 7 startups that we'll see today. In addition to investment capital, we know that surrounding founders with excellence is a catalyst for growth. So building communities is at the heart of what we do. So here are some quick stats of what we've been doing to catalyze the startup community since 2011. We've had just under 3,000 startups apply over all the years. Over 1,200 mentors roll up their sleeves like they did this year and really lean in with their connections and give a hand. Over 8,300 mentor and founder meetups, and 11,000 attendees, just like yourselves, at demo days like today. We've done this 14 times over a decade, making FounderFuel the original tech startup accelerator in Canada. Creating these creative collisions really builds a healthy startup ecosystem, but they also create incredibly strong investment results. Real has invested $9 million in 111 companies, in 70-plus follow-on rounds in over 40 companies in the cohorts, resulting in total valuation well north of $4 billion. The MOIC is at 9.2. I took 2 points because of 2022. It was 11.2 before that. But it's an incredibly outstanding result for return profile for early-stage startups. And I'm proud to say that our alumni are among the top startups in Canada, with household names like Majuri, Unsplash, Sonder, Paper, and so many more. The past 18 months have been exceptionally busy for our alumni, with Sonder ringing the bell at the NASDAQ, Paper hitting a $1.5 billion valuation as they expand tutoring across the US, and BenchSci recently raising a $95 million Series D led by Al Gore's fund. And we believe that the 7 companies that you see tonight will be the headliners of the decade to come. When we made the decision in February to bring FounderFuel back, we weren't sure how it was going to be received. The response has been overwhelming. The enthusiasm from Vancouver to Waterloo to Toronto, Quebec City, and Halifax. We've had over 900 people attend 11 info sessions, and in 4 short weeks of recruitment, which is the shortest cycle we've ever done, we had 210 startups apply. We conducted 92 interviews, first and second interviews, as 3 firms in just 1 week. Honestly, it was like driving an investment Ferrari. I just couldn't believe how fast everything could get done. We then had 23 teams come to Montreal, pitch in person, to then come to narrow down to the 7 companies that you'll see tonight. We believe the reason so many startups apply is because FounderFuel is really a boutique accelerator unlike others. We are made out of, it is run by VCs and former operators who know how to build, scale, and invest in companies. We tailor our programming to the composition of the cohort. So if there's marketplaces or retail-focused companies or hardware, even deep tech, we adapt our content and also our mentor network to support. We don't believe in this boot camp mentality that usually makes or breaks founders. We find that that doesn't produce the model that is conducive for building sustainable habits that help founders succeed in the long term. As such, our programming focuses on the critical behavioral skills in the area of founder development. And to help us to do all of that, at the heart of it is our mentors.
And our mentors are helpful because they have real-world experience solving issues that are common and recurring for entrepreneurs. They help young teams develop pattern recognition and help them duck and weave around bad choices. All of the teams that you're going to see today had the chance during the course of FounderFuel to connect with some of the brightest minds in product, technology, legal, accounting, and business building. If you were a mentor at this year's cohort, or actually for any previous FounderFuel cohort, I want to invite you to stand for just a moment because we want to recognize you. Go on, please stand up. Thank you very much. You guys are the bedrock of the ecosystem.
Let's do it.
Without you, this wouldn't be possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. As much as our mentors add value, our program sponsors also roll up their sleeves to help our startups day in, day out. And for that, we have a heartfelt thanks for all of your support throughout all of the years, and in particular this year, because many of you had an enthusiastic yes for me, even though this year was not planned or budgeted. So it was all thanks to you guys to make it happen. And I'd like to actually ask our amazing partners to stand up so we can see you. Yes, your names are actually on the screen, so you can't hide. So I actually want to see some names. Yeah, I see you. Jean-Nic, yeah, I see you. Nas, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I see a lot of our sponsors here. And last but not least, we know it takes a village to build any kind of successful ecosystem, which is why we are grateful for our entire community support that we've received across the country, from one coast to the other. When we actually raised the flag and said, hey, we want to come into your communities, we were welcomed into their hubs and into your communities to meet with your founders during our recruitment, and for that, we are exceptionally grateful. So before Scott and I hand the mic over to John, I want to give you a quick preview of what's happening from 6 p.m. until midnight. Or that's when they kick us out, so that'll stop there. So everyone in this room is freaking amazing. So there's a high concentration of amazing people, and I really would say that there's a potential co-founder, an investor, a collaborator, and even a mentor amongst your midst. I'm giving you FounderFuel homework, which is to meet 3 new people tonight. So that's your official, and I want to report by next Tuesday. So also check out our incredible sponsor booths. They actually make a lot of magic happen behind the scenes for a lot of startups. So I would actually welcome, there's amazing people that are there to meet and greet with you. And
if you're an investor, angel or fund, there is going to be an investor zone set up just through the blue doors directly to my right between 6 and 7 p.m. There'll be a cocktail with music and bites after the show is finished. It is open to the public, so if you have friends, allies, partners, people who are hopping off of airplanes, invite them down. We're more than welcome to have them.
All right.
So with that logistics out of the way, it is time for us to welcome John Stokes to the stage, one of the OG venture investors in the Canadian scene, the managing partner of Real Ventures, and the mentor-in-chief of FounderFuel.
Thank you, Katy. Thank you both. Thank you both. Yes. Katy said, give him a title, he will work harder. I'm not sure if it worked. But seriously, I am the mentor-in-chief. And in FounderFuel, the mentor-in-chief does mean something. My role, primarily at FounderFuel, is to continually refine the developmental process that we call FounderFuel. That developmental process is very taxing, very grueling, demanding. It's intense, it's stressful, but it's ultimately life impacting for those that get a chance to go through it. The intent is to help founders develop their capacity to form and reform perspectives on what it is that they're building, how it is they're building it, and most importantly, how the founders themselves might be getting in the way of their own success. And that entails us asking founders to unpack the question, who is the real you that is building this company? And finding that answer to the question usually entails developing the capacity to embrace learning opportunities. At FounderFuel, we've come to realize that we can't teach founders how to not get things wrong. Instead, we teach them how to shift gracefully when these learning opportunities come along. But these learning opportunities that do come along, they unveil new paths, and I can share one of our own less flattering stories to illustrate how this works. For those that were around 12 years ago, FounderFuel launched its very first call for startups on June the 2nd, 2011. Most important to us on that day was that we had 100 mentors profiled on the website, all ready to throw their support behind the ecosystem. 12 years ago, that was a major undertaking. But just hours before we went live, we were really proud that we hit that number. But not one of those 100 mentors identified themselves as a woman. Within 45 minutes, the blogosphere gave us our very own learning opportunity. Consciously or not, with their comments, those women effectively acted as our guides. They helped us become more aware and supported us in our ambition to grow and evolve our thinking. Their input shifted our consciousness. And along with many other types of interventions over the past 12 years, the consciousness of the whole ecosystem around the topic of diversity has shifted. This is great news, although there's much more to be done. And tech startup land has more shifting to do in other areas, not just in terms of diversity, but also areas such as mental wellness, burnout, equitable reward structures, governance structures, and awareness of planetary impacts. We're still getting a lot of things wrong. But getting it wrong is part of entrepreneurship. It doesn't feel good, but it's how we grow. It's how we evolve. It's how we shift our awareness and that of those around us. We can recognize, however, getting it wrong for what it really is. It's a leading indicator of emerging wisdom. And as a founder, growing and evolving are all part of getting to know yourself. Aristotle understood its importance. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom, he said. And at FounderFuel, knowing yourself is about cultivating the wisdom within founders, because it's the wiser version of our founders that have the highest likelihood of building and leading positively impactful companies. It is wiser founders that shift us from playing a finite game of winning and losing to playing that infinite game. Thank you all for being here today. The Real Ventures team look forward to continuing to playing the infinite game with you all. And with that, the stage is set, the talking is over, and so now on with the show. Please put your hands together in encouragement for the fantastic 7 companies that make up FounderFuel's 2023 cohort.
The way I became familiar with STEM is truly what motivates me, and I want to inspire girls and women to pursue this type of careers. There's always been this passion to do it for something that I care about and that I like and that just makes me feel good. I want to share that with as many people as I can so that they can feel safe, they can feel empowered, and they can just be free to explore as many passions and ideas that they have.
Do you remember watching Marty McFly strap on the perfect fitting pair of Nikes in Back to the Future? How about that part in The Fifth Element when Lilo applies her Chanel makeup? Or this scene from Total Recall? Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Ali Huerta, co-founder and CEO of AIM Colors. While pursuing my PhD in synthetic chemistry at McGill, I came across color-changing compounds. And it struck me that those futuristic movie scenes may be closer to reality than we might think. Excited by the disruptive potential of my research, I called my sister, a computer engineer, and realized that if we combine our knowledge in material science and electronics, we could close the gap between fantasy and reality. The continuous miniaturization of electronics and advancements in material science has paved the way for a remarkable transformation. Two major breakthroughs will help make tech-enabled fashion a reality. The first is Apple's introduction of programmable NFC, commonly used in contactless payments. The second is the commercialization of color electrophoretic displays, or e-ink. Embracing these developments, we founded AIM Colors, a global fashion tech brand. Today, we're proud to introduce our first product, ePolish, the world's first fully customizable electronic press-on nails. Why nails? Thank you. Why nails? They're the perfect platform for bringing STEM into everyday consumer products, combining technology with self-expression, embodying creativity, empowerment, and cultural identity. They're also an incredibly challenging use case, requiring intricate miniaturization, curvature, and durability. Successfully conquering nails demonstrates our capacity to tackle future products with innovation and expertise. And let's recognize that nails are a big business too. Over $40 billion spent on nail color cosmetics, with $24 billion coming from the US alone. Gen Z and millennials spend, on average, 2 hours at the salon every month, and anywhere from $600 to $1,800 on nails every year. Unfortunately, that doesn't take into account all the chemical solvents and the microplastic waste that's generated. ePolish requires no solvents, doesn't chip, and can be reused for 1 year. We know what you're going to say. Hardware is hard. But when you have experienced firsthand hundreds of customer reactions just like these, you too would be 100% confident that ePolish will be commercially viable and have a profound impact on culture. Now, how will we get there? Last year marked the beginning of bringing our dream to life. We delivered a batteryless electrophoretic display, the first major step. We then consolidated the electronics, meaning we can ultimately miniaturize our system to conform to the tiny dimensions of our fingernail, all without requiring a battery connection. In November,
we filed a provisional patent for our technology. In February, we succeeded in leveraging the native NFC capabilities to function as a remote control for wirelessly transmitting power and instructions to our hardware. And we achieved all this with funds raised solely through grants and prizes. To achieve e-polish, we use a display at the uppermost layer, and the electronics at the back need to conform to the size and curvature of the nail. I've researched molecular properties of commercially available displays, and the progress is astounding, with screens requiring just one tap to change graphics. And to attain the desired curvature, we use printed electronics on thermoformable materials. The science is proven, the engineering surmountable. But with few experts in wafer-level processing, I flew to Berlin to meet with the world leader in microelectronics, the Fraunhofer Institute, who has agreed to work on e-polish given our groundbreaking IP. Finally, let's dig into the numbers. Our current bill of materials adds up to $170 and will drop to $40 when we manufacture 1 million units or more. Based on the average annual spend on nails and e-polish's duration, we will sell the sets for $299 through distribution contracts, with additional revenue coming from exclusive designs sold by creators on our mobile app. Hardware takes investment to commercialize, but the size of the opportunity is phenomenal. Our goal is to establish AIM Colors as the leading company for tech-enabled fashion. Our next step is to create a nail-sized prototype, allowing us to start consumer testing. To achieve this milestone, we're raising $1.2 million on our expansion path to custom wearables. 30 years ago, Total Recall fired up our imagination. The cutting-edge technology now exists to bring what was imagined to life. Come chat with me and experience the potential yourself. Thank you.
The idea of Roll really started with board game nights that we used to have physically, but then when the pandemic rolled around, those all went away pretty quickly.
As someone who's slightly more introverted, it's kind of uncomfortable for me to sit around in a circle of friends for, let's say, 4 hours at a time. But give me a board game, and then I can have a lot of fun with my friends and feel pretty connected with that.
So we decided to start with board games and go inside out. This isn't just about generic commodity messaging. This is about giving people a chance to focus on something else and then grow their relationship, disclose more of their authentic selves over time.
Have you ever wanted to rob a bank? Well, we actually did last night. And one of the guys on our crew turned on us. We had to ditch the cash and run. I'm lucky to even be here today. Now, don't worry. No bank vaults were breached in the making of this pitch. My co-founder Mike's not actually a werewolf, and I haven't quite worked out how to terraform Mars. But these 3 titles are part of the new wave of board games. Now, we might not have broken into a bank, but we are breaking into the $22 billion a year board game industry. Now, this is an industry that used to be dominated by household names. But over the past 10 years, there's been an explosion of over 8,000 indie board game publishers. And together, they've raised $1.5 billion in Kickstarter pre-orders alone. More than video games, more than hardware, it's the single largest crowdfunding category. Now, hardcore board gamers are voting with their wallets and bringing their friends to the table. So why are board games only coming out on game night? And why can't the connections that we create when we play stay with us? Because it's not just about the games, it's about the friendships we form around the table. Board game night should live in your pocket, and that's why we built Roll. A digital tabletop that makes jumping into a game as simple as sending a text. I'm Mike Roberts, a 16-year veteran of the social and gaming space. I founded the studio that made BlackBerry's best-selling game. Then I scaled Kick from 0 to 150 million users, launching the industry's first HTML5 gaming platform in a chat app that 40% of teens love to use every day. And that's where I'm at my co-founder, Mike Chang. Mike scaled the infrastructure teams at Kick that supported sending billions of messages a day. And for the 10 years since, we've been building together, from Kick to Kin to Snapchat. And so I'd love to share with you what we've built at Roll. Now, we know games are actually about the people we play with, not just the games themselves. So Roll takes care of the rules so you can focus on your friends instead of reading the rule book. We help you go from, how does the knight move again, to, I really need to stop blundering my queen. And it lets your friends remind you that you might have some more to learn. When you want to play your next game, it's as simple as choosing your favorite from our ever-expanding catalog and inviting a friend. And your friends don't need to be on Roll to join you. We knew the best way to connect friends wherever they chat was through the browser, built into every app. So whether you have Snapchat, Telegram, or even iMessage, you're already on Roll with nothing to install. 6.8 billion chatters are ready to play. And when they want to share the experience with more of their friends, they can sign up for an account, and the people they played with will already be there ready to join the next game. Get a link, join a game. It's that simple. And with over 150,000 board games, there's a game for everyone. At Roll, we don't design new board games, we partner with creators to bring their existing games with proven gameplay to massive new audiences. And board game creators, they work with cardboard, not code. And making a mobile game from scratch is incredibly complex and expensive. The Roll engine makes it simple to transform their games from print and play into consumer-friendly mobile games. They bring the assets they already have from their physical version. Our engine adapts to lay it on any screen, and in 30 lines of code that any teenager who's toyed with Roblox understands, they're ready to ship in hours, not months. Roll's free to play with a library of great games, enhanced with unlockables, and for $5 a month, you get access to our premium catalog. And you get to share that access with your friends when you play together. And creators, when they bring their games to Roll, they get a share of the revenue. The more users play, the more creators earn. Now, our game engine is ready. Our apps are ready, and our players are ready and waiting. So go to roll.gg and sign up for our beta coming next month. And all of this is to prepare for our industry launch in October at Spiel, the largest board gaming conference in the world. So we're raising $2 million to reach our first 250,000 users and to partner with publishers to launch our first 250 titles. Now, tens of millions of hardcore board gamers and the friends they'll bring with them are ready to roll. So if you want to plan a heist, or eat some villagers, or maybe plant a flag on Mars, well, we're ready to chat. Thank you.
The biggest challenge with data in society today is the amount of it and the amount of noise within it. So it's really important for us to build a tool to enable anyone to be able to wrangle and understand that data.
See that light come on for users as they work with data and they see, wow, I can do this myself. I don't have to bring on somebody more technical or outsource this to another company. That empowering moment is really what drives me.
Data is the new oil.
How many times have you heard that line? As a data analyst, I've heard it endlessly. But is this true when the infrastructure required is not nearly as stable nor developed? The real reality with data is that analysts are split between two major problems. Bad data that comes from broken legacy systems is often out of date and mislabeled, plus a barrage of data requests and custom reports that leave no time to fix the core issues. I'm Josh, CEO, and with my co-founder Will, we set out to build Artemis, a product that powered a 4-person startup to land a pilot with Procter & Gamble, a $340 billion juggernaut, where, believe it or not, every week, a team of 8 analysts spends 64 hours answering this question: how did discounts impact last week's sales? They sift through thousands of tables in their databases, POS systems, and spreadsheets, ensuring consistent formatting, labels, and timeframes across every single table. This simple report costs P&G over $150,000 in analyst hours per year, and is only one of the thousands of reports their teams run. But it's all worth it, because after they deliver this report, they get bombarded with thank yous. I'm just kidding. In reality, their inboxes get flooded with messages like this: can you change this from a bar to a line graph? I just sent you a new CSV with new data. Can you update it now? Can you meet me now? I have a meeting in 20 minutes, and I have no idea what this dashboard means. Instead of spending hours in data warehouses writing custom code, Artemis lets analysts visually build, explore, and automate data cleanup using pre-built logic that they can drag and drop onto a canvas, all while dynamically generating the model code behind the scenes, making it 50 times faster than writing the same code over and over again. These results integrate seamlessly into visualization tools like Tableau, Power BI, and Superset, allowing business users to work with data in a completely personalized way. But that's not all. Remember those never-ending data requests? Well, since Artemis is the central repository for clean and trusted data sets, we are becoming one of the most valuable integrators with large language models like GPT-4, Hugging Face, and Bard. With the click of a button, analysts can easily integrate their preferred LLM and unleash the power and capability of personalized insights, allowing them to be empowered to work with data using their own words, rather than bothering analysts, enabling them to make better business decisions faster, reducing the cost of reports from $150K down to just a few thousand. The data transformation market is growing at a clipping pace of 25% year on year within the $77 billion data transformation market. And while this may seem saturated, the truth is that there are only 2 companies laser-focused on data cleanup. dbt's architecture is designed for engineers. Datamere is exclusively on Snowflake. And Artemis is built for analysts. Our platform is intuitive, cloud agnostic, and can be up and running in just a few clicks. Our business model is a monthly SaaS fee of $50 per user. And we've grown 60% month over month for the past 5 months, with 50 companies adopting the platform since January. Now, despite our young age, we've experienced the pain that Artemis is solving. While scaling my first startup and aggregating financial data from Shopify, Stripe, and QuickBooks, I was frustrated by the limited control I had to provide quality answers. And Will, our CTO, has built data infrastructure at 8 different startups, experiencing firsthand the chaos analysts deal with every day. Data analytics is in the midst of a revolution, and tools like Artemis will be critical in helping organizations adapt to this seismic shift in technology. Over time, the knowledge engine within our platform will become the heart of business for our users, fundamentally simplifying the time from raw data to actionable insights. We're backed by trusted investors, FounderFuel and Ripple Ventures. And I'm so excited to announce today we have signed a lead term sheet for a $1.5 million round. We're looking to close this round quickly so we can get back to building Artemis, to welcome 250 new organizations, 1,000 new users on the platform, and $1 million in revenue within the next 18 months. So join us on our mission to make data intelligent, valuable, and actionable. At Artemis, we believe it's the dawn of a new era in data, where the race has only just begun. Thank you.
A special thanks to AWS. Thanks to Mike and Julien for their advice on security and infrastructure.
I would like to thank all the team at Video, especially Matt, for all his support.
Thanks to you, we've been able to figure out very important compliance and tax questions.
Mark from Blue HF offered us legal advice at a critical part in the program, allowing us to accelerate our due diligence and get our money faster.
We'd like to thank Carlos and the Bose AI team. As founders, there's a million and one things we have to do, and not having to work about shred has been an absolute blessing.
Un immense merci à toute l'équipe du Fonds de solidarité FTQ pour votre aide dans l'écosystème de startup. Annick, Michael et Alex, vous avez roulé vos manches pour donner un coup de main à notre cohort, et pour ça, on vous apprécie énormément.
I'm grateful to Chaz and Adrien from BFL Canada for their exceptional risk management guidance.
I truly appreciate all the effort, all the explanation, and really all the support for us to be able to continue on our journey. Thanks.
What's happened? What's happened? Did everything go down? Everything? Oh my gosh. Okay. Is there someone that can just, from the crowd, that can just help us for a couple minutes? I just need to hold the stage just until we get the tech stuff up and running again. Anyone? Anyone from the stage? I'm sorry, I just need to go. Oh! Hey! Oh, hello! Hey, Harley, how are you?
I got you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you. Thank you.
I'll take the crowd for about 5 minutes, if that's okay.
Oh my God,
Is that okay with you guys?
So helpful. Everyone,
Okay.
Harley Finkelstein, everyone.
This is awkward. I just came to hang out. I was on the stage for FounderFuel about a decade ago when there was probably 100 people in the crowd, and companies like Sonder and Paper and Majori were presenting. And now those companies are not only doing amazing things, they are category leaders. And so those of you in the crowd that are entrepreneurs, I want to share 3 things with you. I only have 5 minutes, and this wasn't planned. The first thing is, I carry my own microphone, though, so they don't really have a choice. I want to first talk to you about ambition. Some of you may have heard of Shopify, I hope. The question I get more than anything else these days from politicians and policymakers is, how do we create more Shopifys? And to be honest with you, it has nothing to do with any politicians or any fucking policymakers. The way we create more Shopifys is those of you in the crowd that are entrepreneurs. Please raise your hand if you're an entrepreneur in the crowd. It's for those of you in the crowd that are entrepreneurs to be way more ambitious. What we need more than anything else in this country, in Canada, is to have more HQs and less branch offices, more acquisitions where we're the acquirers, not the acquirees. That's the first thing. The second thing, as you can see, I'm charged up. I'm even dropping F-bombs now. It's end of day. Second thing I want to talk to you about is altitude training. I joined Shopify about a decade and a half ago in the middle of one of the worst recessions, frankly, in history. And inflation was high. The capital markets were uncertain. But those early days of Shopify, when things were kind of backwards and upside down in the macro markets, that helped us create this DNA of resiliency. Resiliency is absolutely not, you're not born with it. You learn resiliency. And this is probably one of those times, again, where those of you building companies that are starting companies right now are going to build a DNA and resiliency that none of your peers that have built a company 5 years ago to have. This is the time where you build that resiliency by doing the altitude training. It's going to get better, but if you can survive this, you're going to be fine. And the third thing I want to talk about is this idea of life's work. We are so lucky that we're able to do, those of us that are entrepreneurs, we can do our life's work during our life. About 10 kilometers from here, there's a little market called the Jean Talon Market. Do you guys know that market? Some of you do. My grandfather worked at that market his entire life. He was an immigrant. He sold eggs for 70 years at that market. That wasn't his life's work. His life's work, that concept didn't even come to him. He just wanted to put food on the table and a roof over their heads. The fact that we, at this stage in our lives, are able to create something that not only helps us survive and put food on our table, but we get to do something that we're passionate about, that is unbelievable. And so I hope all of you that are building, even if you're going to have hard days, you're going to have days that you feel like you're failing, that things are not working out for you, just realize that entrepreneurship is the greatest way for humans to self-actualize. And those of us that get to do that during our life should be incredibly grateful. So thank you so much. Please be ambitious, and thank you for letting me hijack the stage for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Think of Snapwrite AI as your best friend and an expert who can describe items very, very nicely.
We're making it possible that, hey, you don't have to throw your items, just find your nearest reseller, give it to them, they will take care of the item and get it out there so somebody else can wear it the second, the third time.
It's like magic happening real time in front of your eyes.
Over 30 billion pieces of new clothes were sold in North America last year. 12 billion were sold online. For many investors, that might sound like a massive market. But as someone who has experienced firsthand the challenge of accurately producing product specifications, it sounds more like 10 billion photographs, 90 billion product specifications, 300 million product descriptions, and over 100 million hours of data entry per year. That's a massive amount of time and effort just to create a digital version of clothing. Perhaps you're thinking that once the digital data is captured, it is available for use and shareable forever. Well, that would be too easy. When the customer gets home and cuts the tag of the new piece of clothing, the link to the digital data for that item disappears instantly. And when it's time for it to become someone else's favorite blazer, there is no data, and everything needs to be redocumented. This means that the 1.4 billion pre-loved items that were sold online last year all needed the data capture process happen again. This e-commerce revolution is picking up steam, growing 16 times faster than traditional retail. Resellers and brands are all placing their bet on the future of the circular economy. After all, recycling and reusing is not only good for the planet, but good for the wallet too. I'm Mattia, and I'd like to introduce you to Snapwrite, an AI platform powering the e-commerce revolution. We help original brands leverage the power of resellers to expand the life of their pre-loved goods by giving clothing a digital identity from initial purchase through resale to end of life. And it all starts with our image-to-text tool. Brands or resellers of pre-loved items can use any camera to take a photo of any clothing item. Images are uploaded in bulk and can be dragged and dropped onto our cloud platform, and presto. Up to 15 attributes are generated instantly to create product specifications using our proprietary image-to-text AI. We then use generative AI to create search engine-optimized detailed descriptions and listings to enhance website discovery, all while optimizing visual recommendation engines. This information is automated into a CSV file, which automatically integrates into Shopify, Custom Cart, and Magento, allowing resellers to focus on what they do best, curating a collection that their customers will love and getting their items to market faster. We launched Snapwrite 7 months ago, and I've already signed 30 pre-loved resellers across the US, UK, and Canada. Customers love us because it takes just 15 seconds to process an item versus 3 to 5 minutes when done manually, saving resellers an average of 40 hours each week. Our fastest growing customers have quickly gone from processing 70 items a month to 800 and are now on track to hit 1,200 items this month. our fast data capture process has enabled resellers to increase inventory on their online stores, which directly correlates to a 35% increase in average order value. And these resellers have strong network effects, with hundreds of wholesale vendors supplying them millions of pre-loved goods. We also help both the parties, the resellers and the vendors, share their pricing and settlement process through Snapwrite. And I'm thrilled to announce that Snapwrite has already processed 10,000 pre-loved items and is on track to hit 100,000 items by the end of this year. Resellers are happy to pay for the increase in efficiency and settlement control provided by Snapwrite. We validated our market charging customers 20 cents to $1 per image processed, and have recently launched monthly subscriptions for both resellers and brands. With online resale expected to surpass $50 billion by 2032 in the US alone, in a global market that will see 17 billion resale items listed every year, we see a clear path for Snapwrite to achieve 100 million ARR in this fast-growing fashion segment. We are a small yet mighty team passionate about re-commerce. I studied machine learning at the University of Toronto, and while there, I ran a reselling storefront, arbitraging items from secondhand stores to earn extra cash. I then built the initial tech for Snapwrite by working as a data scientist with brands like Mars, Deciem, and Unilever. My brother and CTO, Arimin, he started writing code when he was 8 and was recently awarded Canada's Developer 30 Under 30 after dropping out of university and immigrating to Canada to commit to Snapwrite full-time. We also have an outstanding team to make the magic happen. And with our mission to give all clothing a digital identity, we started pitching to brands recently. And I'm pleased to announce that Monto, a well-recognized clothing brand, is preparing to go live on Snapwrite this month. This is an important milestone because generating data at the source saves resellers and brands precious time, enabling them to trace pre-loved clothing with their original data via a permanent link. And if you have any doubt that Snapwrite will become a key player in the fashion circular economy, take a look at the reaction of one of our customers. Meet Audrey, owner of a pre-loved clothing store, Royal City Littles.
Oh my God. Guys, this is amazing.
Thank you.
This is incredible.
You'll love it even more once we customize it even further.
Oh my gosh, this is everything that I've hoped for.
And this is just the beginning. We're raising $1.2 million to onboard 500 resellers, 50 original brands, and to process 1 million items by the end of 2024. With resale growing 16 times faster than traditional e-commerce, we believe re-commerce will be the future of retail. Join us at Snapwrite to power the re-commerce revolution. Thank you.
I was paying a very high rent, so it was complicated to imagine to build a good financial future in that situation.
Ce qui m'a toujours motivé, c'est construire des choses qui vont avoir une utilité pour les gens. So we will help people to get a bright financial future.
All right. You see that? This is a check, a paper check. And this is how 70% of rent is paid in the US today. So this is ridiculous, right? But not only is this inconvenient, it led us to discover an even bigger problem for renters, that all rent transactions are invisible. Every year, it's $500 billion that don't help renters build credit worthiness, which is particularly problematic
for the 26 million Gen Z renters with almost no credit history. When I pay $1,500 on my credit card every month, my bank, all credit bureaus and financial institutions know I paid. Yet, when I pay $1,500 in rent, no one but my landlord's secretary knows. She's so happy. That's why renters have to repeatedly prove their worthiness every single time. It's a struggle, it's daunting, and it's totally unnecessary in 2023. So I am Jeremy, and I'm proud to introduce LeaseSimple, the first banking app for the renting generation. Because we believe that paying rent should be a catalyst for financial health and social mobility. So everything with LeaseSimple starts with paying the rent. Renters use their LeaseSimple bank account to send a check, a transfer, or direct debit, and boom, landlords get paid. And LeaseSimple works without involving landlords. That's why 100% of renters in the US can use LeaseSimple today. For renters, all rent payments are reported to credit bureaus and contribute to improve their credit score up to 100 points. Our unique process, approved by credit bureaus, is using the renter's identity and lease agreement to certify rent payments. That way, we also make it simple for renters to be approved by landlords by showing their LeaseSimple statement. This is a bank statement, but for their rent payment history. So now, for renters, paying rent is finally convenient and helpful. But building a banking app is way much harder than just connecting to Stripe. It takes deep integration of KYC, KYB, anti-fraud, bank payment trails, just to start. But most importantly, we need a bank partner. After meeting with many banks all over the US, we were able to be introduced to Stearns Bank, a 100-year-old financial institution that ambitions, just like us, to build bright financial futures. So partnering with the bank usually takes a year and millions of dollars. But together, we accomplished this in only 3 months. So Fred, Vincent, and I were able to do it because we are an experienced team that has done it before. At our last startup Wings, we spent 8 years in San Francisco battling alongside Uber and Lyft to legalize ride-sharing. We learned how to build payment infrastructure, legal, compliance from the ground up. And then we scaled this complex model to 25 cities in the US. So that's why we are the team to build LeaseSimple, the future of renting for the new generations. So as a 25-year-old, balancing high rent, inflation, and a busy social calendar can be sometimes conflicting, if not always. So our banking app incentivizes renters to make good decisions, short and long term. So on LeaseSimple, each rent payment is a chance to earn cash, free Netflix, or even free rent in weekly sweepstakes. So renters feel excited to use LeaseSimple and talk about LeaseSimple to their friends. And this has been confirmed as over 2,000 renters joined our waitlist in just 10 days. Okay. So we monetize LeaseSimple from the get-go, as renters pay $5 a month for their LeaseSimple account. And as our user base grows, we will also make interest from deposits. So with LeaseSimple, we are today building better financial futures. And for us, it's just the beginning. Our vision of a banking app for the renting generation is also about saving for a future move, purchasing a renter insurance, investing in real estate, or even applying to a mortgage, all in one app in the pocket of millions of renters. So we are raising 1 million and have already closed 600 with amazing investors from the US, Canada, and France. Our next milestone is 10,000 active renters and 20 million in monthly rent transactions. So as of today, the first banking app for the renting generation is ready to launch. So join us to build the future of renting for the new generations. Thank you.
Alexi at Fasken has access to resources that we would have never been privy to if it wasn't for our introduction to her. She was able to give us specific legal advice in a timely manner. We really appreciate her help, and it has made our lives better.
I'm very grateful to Eric from Google Cloud. His insights on AI and machine learning were incredibly valuable for us.
The resources you guys have provided us through FounderFuel have let us explore different avenues and run our platform infrastructure smoothly.
Chris Germano from RVCX helped us move to RVCX effortlessly.
Thank you to Julian and the entire team there for being so easy to work with, helpful, and helping us get settled on the financial side of the business.
Hey Scale AI, it is June 28th and I am finalizing some last minute details for FounderFuel's demo day over here. This would not be possible without partners like you. Thank you for all you do to accelerate the commercialization of AI across supply chains throughout Quebec and Canada.
There are no words to describe the gratitude I feel towards the team at the Silicon Valley Bank. Sheila, Carl, and Philip continue to mentor, troubleshoot, help the team, and help the founders despite the uncertainty on their end. And for that, I'm exceptionally grateful.
Hey, I wanted to send a big thank you to Osler and to Christian in particular. Since we are a company based in the US, we had so many questions and you guys have been super helpful so that we can take the best decision for the company. So big thank you.
Eva is just made up of amazing people. Jack Tam and Sapna Kaushal walked us through how Shred credits work. Dharmesh Gandhi, you can just catch him over lunch if you're looking to ideate or just having a conversation. And Nas gave us the opportunity to attend Collision this year.
An SDR is a sales development representative, typically doing a lot of the outbound and initial cold calls or emails to prospects. Been a lot of hearing our current clients using Quack and actually seeing great results from it, feeling good that we're actually helping them achieve something through our product and wanting to do that even more with more companies and more SDRs out there.
The most successful enterprise companies still depend on one thing to book over 70% of outbound meetings. It generates over 40% of revenue. It's cold calling. No, I'm not talking about annoying telemarketers trying to sell you air duct cleaning. I'm talking about the 1 million sales development reps, or SDRs, around the world looking to make deep, authentic connections with future customers. Meet Caspian, one of the top performing SDRs at Gong. He spends 4 hours every day listening to this. Imagine listening to that for 4 hours every day, making 300 dials a week, only to have 1% of those turn into meetings. You would also feel frustrated fatigued, fed up. Enter Quack, the prospecting platform built for SDRs by SDRs to make cold calling more efficient. SDRs leverage the power of our parallel dialing technology to simultaneously call up to 6 prospects at the same time. And we can onboard SDRs in less than 2 minutes and get them dialing right away. We automatically detect voicemails and instantly connect you to the first person to answer. Turning 4 hours of dialing a day into 20 minutes for SDRs, and instead of 10 meetings booked, we've seen teams score 20 in their first week. As SDRs that hit 100% of quota for companies like Clearco, Clue, and Certain, Jake, our COO, and I know firsthand just how painful cold calling can be. We've made over 100,000 cold calls that have secured deals at companies like Microsoft, Abbott, BlackBerry, and Nike. Vinay, our CTO, has helped build startups like LeaseSimple, Float, and Coho. And in January, we decided to dedicate our time to building Quack and making SDRs' lives better, helping SDRs achieve quota without having to listen to dial tones for hours on end. The global predictive dialer market currently sits at about $2.5 billion and expected to grow 5-fold by 2028. And like I mentioned, 40% of revenue comes from outbound. So if you thought cold calling was dead, think again. That's a massive 37% compound annual growth rate. And with 4 million people in tech sales and 1 million SDRs globally, we believe we have a clear path to building a $100 million annual business. Parallel dialers have only been on the scene for the past few years. The 2 existing solutions, Orem and Nooks, are far out of reach for the 25,000 SMB tech companies, charging customers anywhere from $300 to $1,500 per seat per month. It didn't make sense to us why a dialer would cost more than an entire CRM solution. So that's why we built Quack at just $75 per seat per month. But many people not in sales have asked us, so you're just a feature? Well, we've spoken to 50 sales managers with over 300 SDRs on staff, and all of them have told us that they love our laser focus on dialing, even breathe a sigh of relief when they hear that we're not a suite of sales tools with a ton of mediocre bells and whistles. And what happened next got us really excited. All the managers we spoke with signed up for a 1-month free trial of Quack, even the ones using our competition. And in June, we onboarded 100 SDRs at 12 different companies. And of those companies that trialed Quack, 75% converted to paying customers on annual contracts. Here's what they have to say about us. Sophie from Certain said Quack is awesome. I spend way less time in my day dialing and have better results. Castile from Procurify said I've been able to book the same amount of meetings I book in a week in a day. Why? Because our dialer closes cold calls quicker, books more meetings, and drives top of funnel, all while making SDRs happier. We want to be the world's best dialer. We want to be the opposite of the Swiss Army knife sales tools in the market. We want to be respected for surgically solving this core sales problem. And on this foundation, we will take our laser focus and solve another core problem, and then another. In order to do this, we are raising $1 million to help onboarding 2,000 SDRs and 250 companies onto Quack in the next 18 months, as well as build out our product roadmap and identify future products and hire technical and customer success team members to help with ongoing customer growth, and as well in helping achieve our 2 million ARR goal by the end of 2024. So if turning luck into repeatable sales is also your passion, then come join us at Quack, the first prospecting platform built for SDRs by SDRs. Thank you.
I believe that design is the foundation for all of our experiences. It brings in feelings, it peppers our memories.
I view myself as a champion and a partner of people
and helping them empower themselves to better their lives. We give the technology to interior designers to empower them.
Everyone in this room has had a memorable stay at an incredible hotel. Remember the feeling you had as you walked into the lobby? Well, that experience required thousands of design hours, countless detailed decisions, and millions of dollars in investment. Hi, I'm Natasha, CEO and co-founder of Prospecer, and over the past 10 years, I've created projects like this with amazing clients like Cineplex, Tishman Speyer, and Marriott. It's been rewarding to be a part of the interior design industry, but it has also been stressful. Because with just one mistake, one typo, thousands of lights can arrive in the wrong color. And when construction is in full swing, with an opening day decided, who's going to pick up the bill? Interior designers spend 75% of their day building project documentation. They select every product in a project. For example, drapery. We'll start by picking from thousands of fabric options. We'll consider opacity, hang style, and hardware. Are they powered? 50 decisions and client approvals later, and let's do it all over again for every other floor of the hotel. Oh, it's going to take 5 years to build, so let's also account for discontinued items, price increases, and team turnover. In construction, all mistakes affect and frustrate more than just the client. Design teams are feeling the pressure to manage an increased number of parallel projects, all the while experiencing reduced forgiveness on errors that ultimately erode their credibility. But all this pain is so easily avoided, but studios lack explicit process, creating confusion and frustration. This is why we founded Prospecer, a fully integrated vertical SaaS for the interior design industry. We help build comprehensive specifications and project documentation. We incorporate industry standards and clear process to bring consistency and rigor to studio teams. And we centralize all project information in one place. Currently, we have 30 studios using Prospecer. They've onboarded 220 projects. They've cataloged 8,500 unique product specs with an estimated purchase price of $12 million. Design Theory, an award-winning studio in Toronto, has onboarded 24 projects in the last 6 months. Each designer spends 3.5 hours working in Prospecer. Projects range from $250,000 to $50 million, from private residential to commercial condos and vacation villas. With our platform, Prospecer is transforming studios and helping designers manage with confidence. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Interior design is big business. There's 175,000 studios in North America. $30 billion was spent on their services last year. Globally, it's estimated that $255 billion will be spent on interior design services by 2027. This is a niche group of highly influential decision makers. Interior designers have 26 times the buying power of an average consumer. Currently, designers are specifying product in Prospecer, but soon will grow to support procurement. Why? Because in just interior finishes alone, $325 billion was purchased by designers last year. Currently, designers are using Excel and Word and QuickBooks, and programs like Design Docs and House and Programma overlook the nuances of construction for designers and their stakeholders. No single software solution has established themselves as the leaders in the interior design industry yet. In order to bring this big vision to life, I co-founded Prospecer with my partner, Will Harford. He brings 20+ years of startup experience as head of engineering at PartnerStack and director of payments at Wave Apps, a company that made 80% of its revenue from processing transactions. He understands how to build software solutions and the teams to scale them. As a design leader, I've worked at internationally renowned studios like 2x4, leading award-winning teams. I've managed portfolios of projects in Canada and the US before starting my own successful firm. As a team, we want to build the operating system for the entire interior design industry. With our beta, we'll first focus on upgrading project documentation and client-requested features. We're on track to launch procurement with invoicing and purchase orders for trial with select users this summer, with a goal of facilitating transactions by the end of the year. This will allow us to take a percentage of all transactions in addition to our monthly user revenue. Customer traction from bootstrapping has far exceeded expectations, and now we feel compelled to help more designers faster. As such, we're raising $1.5 million to grow our development team, to 10x our users from 30 to 300 studios, and to expand across Canada and into key American design hubs like New York, Chicago, and Miami. Join us to build Prospecer, a dedicated software suite for the interior design industry, where designers can fall back in love with the art of creating the spaces that inspire us all. Thank you.
All right, can we have one more round of applause and a bit of congratulations for the FounderFuel cohort of 2023. And it looks like there's some stragglers in the back of the room. Hands up if you arrived on the startup train. There we go. So the startup train was organized by our next speaker, along with Startupfest. And Startupfest, as many of you know, probably all of you know, is the premier homegrown startup festival in Canada. And so, welcome, Phil.
Hello, can you hear me? Hi. Wow, what a pleasure to see everybody. You know, I excuse me for my attire. Everybody's so well dressed, but obviously we're in production today and have been for the last couple of days. Katy asked me to come. I couldn't say no to Katy, as you can imagine. But also, this is my first time on the FounderFuel stage. I've been here for many, many years, but this is the first time I was invited up here, so I couldn't take the opportunity to say no to that. So, but I was extremely busy. So, of course, what did I do? Hey, ChatGPT, write me a speech for the startup community present at FounderFuel Demo Day that highlights the importance of community and the incredible job FounderFuel has done in bringing partners like Panache and Inovia together, blah, blah, blah. I won't read my whole point, but it does end with, please include a joke about startups and investors. A dad joke, specifically. So, good evening, everyone. I'm honored to be invited here today to speak with all of you at the 2023 edition of FounderFuel. It's truly inspiring to see so many people from the global startup community come together to support founders from across Canada. Community is essential in creating an environment where startups can thrive. It provides a network of support and resources that are essential in helping startups grow and succeed. The Montreal startup community is a great example of this. And FounderFuel is the first community building accelerator in Canada. The support and resources provided by organizations like FounderFuel, Panache Ventures, and Inovia have been instrumental in helping startups from across Canada grow and succeed. And now, for the light joke about the community and startups. How do you get a small fortune? You start with a big one and invest in startups. I was using ChatGPT 3.5, by the way, not 4. So look, I'm excited to see what the future holds for the community. It's absolutely wonderful to see it growing, even through these times. It is difficult times, but as Harley said, it's now the time to build killer businesses. Be ambitious, be strong. I look forward to seeing many of you, no doubt, this week. I hope you have a great time. Congrats to Katy. Congrats to John. Congrats to the whole team. Of course, congrats to all the startups that got up here on stage. Thank you for having me here. It was a real pleasure. See you soon.
All right. Can you believe it's already over? It's kind of was, I hope it went fast in the startup train, guys. So sorry, you guys missed all the cool stuff. The other people will tell you all about it, though. So, you can grab a drink after and speak with them all. So this is it. We're at the party portion of our programming. But before that, we just wanted to say a huge thanks to our mentors, again, for supporting the startups in our cohort and all the startups in every city across Canada. We want to give a special thanks to Mate to Tilt, who supports our founders. We actually have coaches that come in and provide individual and team support for each of the startup teams. Toast Studios, this whole thing, all the equipment, all the production, that's Toast Studios. Highly recommend them. They also did all the videos too. So huge thanks to them. And last but not least,
the teams at Real Ventures, the teams at Panache Ventures, and we could not have done this without the support of Inovia, who are here today en force. And so thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
And go and meet our partners. They're all in this room. You saw them all get up before. They have a lot of goodies, so go get some of those. And as I said, starting now, we have a bar, actually, that's there. We have another one that's there. They are serving non-alcoholic and alcoholic drinks. Another one, we're going to open these curtains. There's a beautiful terrace right outside, big enough for 750 people. And we had a VC DJ do the guest list dance party for us. So David Dufresne, un gros merci pour le playlist. And without that, have a great evening. Thanks for coming to FounderFuel 2023.
Thank you so much for the support.